A really important question to ask in private equity is why are there so few women there, especially at the senior levels? Why is the representation of managing directors in private equity who are women less than the percentage of shuttle astronauts who were women? It's a pretty bad statistic. It's well known, and there's a lot of work going on to address that imbalance. At Wolseley Private Equity, we were one of the founding members of the Women in Private Equity community, which I was particularly delighted to be able to support. And when Wolseley sold our last investment, I then went on to chair a Women on Board syndicate, which meant that I chaired a group of 14 highly qualified and experienced executives with great track records, all of whom happened to be women, hence the title Women on Boards. And they asked me the question, how can we get into private equity? It's disturbing how subtle the barriers to entry are into PE if you happen to be a woman. And it is no different to many of the other professional services environments, and it's a legacy issue based off deep, ingrained, old-fashioned characteristics of the male-dominated space that private equity used to be. So that's the problem. What's the industry doing to correct it? Actually, it's doing quite a lot. There is the Women in Private Equity group, which is well populated and supported. The Australian Investment Council's chair, Alicia Gregory, and CEO, Navleen Prahad, are both women. And they have promoted the challenge of gender diversity very, very well at both of the previous Australian Investment Council conferences attended by 500 people. Roughly 40% of the attendees were women. We've got a far greater awareness from the investor perspective of the value of gender diversity, and we've got a far greater willingness within the private equity fund manager space to recruit qualified women. So don't be put off. Go for it. There's a lot of work going on to try and enhance and improve the number of women in private equity.